Yeah, baby. Yeah. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you what's on my mind. Check it out. Got a question for you. Do I make you horny? Do I? Do I make you randy, baby? And I also want to thank everyone who likes, shares, subscribes, and hits the notification bell. And of course, everybody who comments. I appreciate you always. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. And I want to talk about this article that I just saw. And they're talking about the possible return of Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. You might remember him from back in the probably the late 90s, 2000s. And it was played by Mike Myers, and you know, I always liked it. I always thought it was hilarious. I found out about it probably after the fact. Like, I never really saw it in the movies, like the first one. I had to find out about it later. But when I did, boy, it was just so funny to me. So anyway, Mike Myers recently said at a red carpet event that he wanted to bring him back. And I saw this article here, and it appears that the author of this article is kind of not really feeling the love. And I just wanted to get your opinion about something, so I'm going to share the article and I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. Okay, and you can find this on www.vice.com, and it goes, oh good, Mike Myers says he might make another Austin Powers movie. Bravo. Alright, and he goes on to say, he said the prospects for a new sequel are looking good, and this is by Beckett Muffson. Beckett Muffson, and he says, because we apparently haven't suffered enough in 2018, it looks like Austin Powers might be crawling out of his grave for a return to the big screen soon, Mike Myers told Access Online in a red carpet interview. Asked if we might be getting a fourth film in the franchise, the writer said the actor behind it said, it's looking good, which, you know, is one man's opinion. You're going to see Dr. Evil soon, somewhere in the culture, he added. Rumors about a follow-up have been floating around since director Jay Roach told Larry King, told Larry King that he and Myers talk about it every time they get together. Back in 2016. I would say it's in a latent phase right now, Roach said at the time, but someday, if we find the right idea that seems to have it earn itself, for sure. Aside from the fact that Austin Powers is problematic as hell, there have been plenty of obstacles to a fourth film, not the least of which is the death of actor Vern Troyer, who famously portrayed Mini-Me. Yes, rest in peace Vern Troyer. I remember when that happened. And he famously portrayed Mini-Me in the movies before he passed away in April. For his part, Myers attributed his British spy's 16-year absence to the fact that he's been spending his time raising his 3 kids. I truly respect that. Rock on, Mike Myers. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? Nothing comes before fatherhood. He told Access Online that the films take a long time to write and always have, but the effort paid off in the late 90s and early 2000s. Between International Man of Mystery, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Goldmember, the series raked in nearly $600 million worldwide at the box office. It's hard to imagine that the juvenile, sex-obsessed, generally offensive Powers would go over well in 2018, especially since we no longer have a sense of humor in 2018. Rewatching the movies is pretty painful. Looking back, what once came off as playful and raunchy kinda just seems misogynistic and racist. If they really plan to retrofit the Shagadelic Man of Mystery into something post #MeToo audiences won't hate, Myers and Roach have a hell of a challenge in front of them. Alright, that's the end of that article. Now you see what's going on here. They're saying that Austin Powers no longer has a place in this #MeToo world. To that I say, Boulder Dash, horse hockey, malarkey. All this is proving is that in this outrage and this false outrage culture, we're really starting to lose our sense of humor. We're losing our sense of what's real and what's not real, and escape is fun and fantasy, and this is the reason why the Dukes of Hazzard has been banned, even though it was one of my all-time favorite shows, because people act like they're outraged by the by the Confederate flag on top of the General Lee, which is absolute bullshit. At the time, nobody was offended by shit, and it was a good show. All right. Also, when I tell people that All in the Family, for example, was one of my favorite sitcoms of all time, you know, a lot of times I'll have people say, you like that show? That show was so racist. And I'm like, no, you simpleton. The show wasn't racist. You show me an example in All in the Family. You show me the episode where Archie Bunker hangs a Negro. You show me in All in the Family where Archie Bunker beats up a Jew or paints a swastika on the side of a building or something like that. You won't find it. Okay, All in the Family. What you need to understand about All in the Family, what you need to understand about Austin Powers and the Dukes of Hazzard and all these shows that are, you know, being, I don't know, run out of existence, is that there's a joke in there, okay? In Austin Powers, you're missing the whole point. If you think that Austin Powers is misogynistic, it's because that's what his character's supposed to be. That's the joke. You understand what I'm saying? That's the joke. He came about in the 60s, okay, in a time when free love was going on and men were still allowed to ask a woman if she wants to shag. You know what I mean? All that stuff used to go on. So the joke is that you took him from his time in the 60s and you brought him up into present day, and he had to struggle to be able to fit in and watch him try that and watch the world react to the way he is. And that was the comedy. Just like in All in the Family, the comedy was that Archie Bunker was so bigoted and short-minded. It's not that Carol O'Connor was a racist. It's that the show was actually about challenging old biases in American culture. You know what I'm saying? Because you had the Archie Bunker character, and you had his son-in-law, the meathead, always challenging him with his liberal views. And to me, it made for riveting television. It was funny as hell, but it also was thought-provoking in a way that you don't see on TV anymore, because everyone is so busy trying to be outraged at everything. You're missing the point, and the society is becoming dumbed down for it. If you ask me, we couldn't even have Married with Children today. You know, because everyone is so busy being like, oh, they're clutching their pearls, their asses are so tight. You know what I mean? They're trying to take Apu from The Simpsons off of TV. What the hell is going on? What was that movie? Was it Demolition Man? Where every time you said a curse word, you used to get a ticket with Sylvester Stallone. Is that what it was? I think it was. You know, is that what we're heading for? Are we losing our ability to laugh at each other? Are we losing our ability to see the humor in the everyday, in the absurdities of life? I think that's what we're heading for, and it really does worry me, because down that road leads war. It leads fighting. It leads to misunderstanding. You know, so I think that Austin Powers is actually just what we need in 2018 to remind us how to laugh at each other, to remind us about exactly what is the joke before we become the joke, because that's what's happening. This is tragic comedy at its finest. So Mike Myers, rock on. Hopefully you can bring back Austin Powers, but bring him back right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't just do some half-ass shit. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid. It's like, get out there and do what you need to do. You know, I think people need that. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. What do you think? In 2018, about to go into 2019, is there any place in this world for Austin Powers and comedy like that? I'm curious to see what you think. Anyway, I guess that's it for now. This is The Gospel According to Mark with a C. I'll catch you on the next one. Rock on. That's a man, baby.